The Michigan GOP pays Commissioner Moss's business over $75,000. That's a lot of money from donors, and questions are being asked about what the reason for that payment is. So far, no one from either Christina Karamo's office or Moss's circle have had anything to say about it. The Ottawa Impact commissioners are under fire for allegedly breaking the spirit of the Open Meetings Act. Some people even argue that they certainly have broken the Open Meetings Act. Finally, the health department officer is facing removal by the board yet again. They might be successful this time. We'll see on the 19th. Kind of a short week. That's all right. We've got a lot here to dig into. I'm Thomas Fry, and this is the Holmes Politicast. All right. So, first thing we're looking at, the Michigan GOP paying out $75,000 to Commissioner Moss. A lot of people are curious. Oh, by the way, the last commissioner meeting was really boring. It was only about 30-ish minutes, so there's no clips from that. Nothing controversial happened there. I heard that today's meeting was quite a bit more controversial. We'll be discussing that next week. But this is a kind of a short week. I'm not going any more than 30 minutes, so be encouraged by that. So the article says $74,000. There was more paid after that. It looks like it's more like 90-ish, something like that. So people are asking a lot of questions. I got a call from one of our commissioners like, hey, did you hear about this thing that's going on? And I was like, nope. But I'm going to look into it. So, of course, I've reached out to many of our commissioners. I'm not expecting a response. I hope to get a response. That'd be great if I got a response. But I'm not expecting one because they haven't really returned many of my calls. Of course, obviously, except the commissioners that know nothing about it, that aren't in Joe Moss's circle. So, yeah, maybe I'll have to try and get an answer from him in a more personal setting. We'll see. But here is the allegation. So, the Detroit News was actually the one that reported this. I'm looking at it on MLive. It says that $74,261 was paid to the Jenison-based company For Liberty by the Michigan Republican Party. So here's the article for you to peruse with me. So the article starts off, about a month after Ottawa County Board Chair Joe Moss nominated Christina Karamo as head of the Michigan Republican Party, the state GOP paid, roughly $74,000 to a business linked to Moss for undisclosed services, the Detroit News reported. So the paper obtained state party bank records, the Detroit News, that is. And then they reported on October 3rd that this had happened. It says the resident agent for the firm is Joe Coleman, a business partner of Moss. So Joel Coleman is a close family relative of, obviously, Coleman Legal Group. And of course, that was reported on ad nauseum by all the papers, here in Ottawa County. We heard about it over and over and over and over and over that the Ottawa Impact candidates were linked with Coleman Legal Group, and that's why they're getting hired and blah 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 and stuff like that. So obviously, it seems like Jack Jordan has been doing a decent job as legal counsel. He's been following, legal trails and figuring out exactly, what has to be done. With our legal counsel, obviously they're being paid more than we thought they would be, but it is what it is. So the website for Liberty says that it provides technology solutions and consulting services. Excuse me. Got a bunch of... It's cold lately, if you haven't noticed. So those are pretty broad parameters for a company. The other two payments made to For Liberty were for $1,744 and $12,551, both for digital management. That's what the disclosure was for. The party didn't disclose what the big payment was for, the $74,261. So questions are still up in the air. Commissioners have been getting calls about this, questions about, what exactly is Joe Moss being paid for? And, it could be a totally beneficial thing for the Republican Party. But if it is, it'd be great if somebody involved could just say, yeah, this is what we're doing. This is the direction we're taking the party. It wouldn't be that hard. If it's a good reason, it wouldn't be hard to justify it. But we have not been given a reason yet. Again, I'm hoping to maybe get a reason within the next month or so. Eventually somebody's going to, say what is going on. But Progress Michigan has their hot take. I'm sure it won't be biased at all. Progress Michigan's managing director, Denzel McCampbell, says, while it is well established that Christina Karamo and Joe Moss are more concerned with their extremist agendas than actually serving the people of Michigan, today's news makes it clear that there may be another motive lining their own pockets. So, at least he's acknowledging that they stick to their agenda and they do what they say they're going to do for their constituents, and they actually get what is done, get what is needed done. Like Joe Moss ran on getting rid of the DEI office. He did that. He ran on many other things that he did in his first meeting. He ran on, reining in the power of the health department. It seems that he's doing a lot in that respect. Maybe not the way everybody wants it done, but he is doing what he said he was going to do. But this new allegation of lining their own pockets, obviously coming from a partisan person with a partisan agenda, it's not clear at all that that they're getting rich from this. If it becomes clear, then I am more than happy to report that and hold Mr. Moss's feet to the fire for that. So that's a story that we're going to keep in our back pocket and kind of think about as the month progresses, especially in weeks where not much is happening in the commissioner meetings. So with the giant payment being made to Commissioner Moss. We move over to the allegations that the commissioners are breaking the spirit of the Open Meetings Act. So there's been this group of commissioners, all of them on the board chairs. They meet in a group of 5, so it isn't a quorum. It's not technically a violation of the Open Meetings Act. And the article that I'm looking at, the article that Commissioner Bonema shared, states that actually right in the first or the second paragraph here. So it says, although they aren't meeting with a quorum of the board, the commissioners who are part of the far-right Ottawa Impact group may still be violating state law, which protects the public access to the decision-making process. Now, the paper MLive does not do a great job. Now, this article is by Audra Gamble, MLive. I have some issues with the way they source this. We'll see if it's corrected by now, but I actually mentioned on Facebook to Commissioner Bonema that they don't actually cite some of the claims made here. We'll see if they actually updated that. I don't think they did. So the article continues, according to the Press Association attorney, it's possible the way these commissioners are meeting with each other about county business could be violating the Open Meetings Act. The press secretary, or the Press Association attorney, not exactly an unbiased source, Jacob Bonema confirmed to MLive and the Grand Rapids Press that there is this off-the-books committee. It includes Joe Moss, Sylvia Rohde, Gretchen Cosby, Roger Belknap, and Allison I'm going to say it wrong again, Medema. I just corrected it too. So these 5 commissioners are meeting. Lucy Ebel actually sits outside the meetings. She does not partake in the meetings, but she kind of sits near the meetings. So this is what's happening. Those are the facts that we know absolutely that meeting is happening, and it is not a quorum. So the paper actually acknowledges this because the meetings only include 5 of the 11 commissioners. County Attorney Jack Jordan said the Chairs Committee doesn't violate the Open Meetings Act. Let's see. There's this again, the Press Association attorney Robin Luce Herman makes this claim that is not cited. Yeah, they didn't update it. So Luce Herman says Michigan courts have repeatedly held that an Open Meetings Act violation can be found when subquorum groups are intentionally created to deliberate on public policy and avoid the OMA. Now, this is quite a claim. Michigan courts have repeatedly held that this is a thing. You would think that the newspaper would, have a link to a couple of these decisions. Right? It's not that hard to do, especially if the Press Association attorney, I mean, you're a part of the Michigan Press Association, MLive. Can you not get those documents? Can you not get those court cases that are being referenced here? I'm not sure why they're not linked. At least a few of them. If Michigan courts have repeatedly held that, where is the reporting? Where is the proof of that? this is why I exist, because I read things in the paper and they don't prove it. And this was my comment to Commissioner Bottoма, is that it's not proven. Can somebody prove it? Can anybody prove that that is what's happening? Now, regardless as to whether or not it's ethical, you would think that Michigan courts saying something repeatedly would be proven. And I brought this up, and the only real answers I got was that this subcommittee is unethical. Well, that's not the claim that I made. I'm just saying that journalistic integrity maybe should substantiate claims made in your paper. I would do that. If somebody makes a claim, I would say, oh, where do you find that? And I'm going to link to those things, because I want to prove what I'm saying, and I want to prove claims made in my, in my publications. Now, Doug Zylstra actually, he responded, and, he said, we should set aside the issue of the OMA. So I'll bring this up. He says setting aside OMA here, do you think it good practice, as a matter of course, to have a minority of the board setting direction for the rest of the board? And I find that interesting, because it's not a minority of the board. The board votes as a whole. They may get together and discuss, evidence that they've found for why they should vote a certain way. Does that violate the Open Meetings Act? I don't know. Are they presenting everything that they talk about in the chairs committee at the regular board? Are they just discussing how they're going to present this stuff? Who's going to present this stuff? Is that stuff that we need to know? Maybe. I don't know. But I can tell you that we don't actually know that it is, in fact, a violation. Now, interestingly enough, Dave Barnoski, the founder of Ottawa Objects, which is a far left group attacking the commissioners, often the Ottawa Impact commissioners, they often butt heads with them, and often are going against. It's basically, if Ottawa Impact says something, Ottawa Objects comes back with the opposite. So this is a bit of a partisan argument here, but he says that trying to divert the attention of people to reporting standards is disingenuous and distracting from the most important point. I don't know. I think reporting standards and journalistic integrity is kind of super important. So here he is saying that I'm trying to divert people away from the most important issue, that a chairs committee exists. I don't know if that is the most important issue. I think having a newspaper that is journalistically integritous, that tries their best to cite everything that they say, is pretty darn important. In fact, I would say that's the most important part of a free society, is for them to be able to get accurate, nonpartisan news. Again, which is why I exist. You won't find me doing that. And if you do, I try and correct it. There's no way really for us to hold MLive accountable or Audra Gamble accountable. I am going to email her and ask her to cite the things that she's saying. But Dave Barnoski does make an interesting point. He says that the chairs committee does, in fact, make a quorum. So it'll be interesting if this is an actual legal argument. He says that, where is it? It's here somewhere. Oh, here it is. So he says that it is a violation of the act because the 5 chairs constitute a quorum of the Health and Human Services Subcommittee. So that'll be interesting, and that's an interesting argument. It'll see, we'll have to see if that holds any legal water. As far as I know, Dave Barnoski is not a lawyer by any stretch of the imagination. So, but he does bring up the point that a subcommittee has been, has the quorum of the subcommittee has met. So does it matter that the subcommittee is not supposed to be there? Is it like, how far are we going to go with this if the commissioners get together for, drinks and to do some research on a topic? Is that a violation of the Open Meetings Act? And really, like, if they get together and decide how they're going to present things, who's going to present them, is that a violation of the Open Meetings Act? I don't know. I'm just asking the questions here. I'm just pushing back on, that there's always this dog pile on the Ottawa Impact commissioners. So I think pushing back is reasonable at the very least. So this is a good argument. We'll see, again, if it holds any legal weight. Right now, for me, it doesn't. It would have to be litigated. And I don't think that litigation is where it would go first. And, I mean, to be honest, I don't think that there is any violation here. They're not getting together to discuss the fate of the county because they already have that. They already have the majority. So it's not like if they didn't do this meeting, it would go any differently. And like I guess I support having all of their deliberations in the open, but I think this is kind of a weak attempt to slander them and say that they're not being open about everything, because I don't think anything's going on behind there that they don't talk about in the full commissioner meeting. The darn things are 6 hours. They've enough has said that I'm sure that they don't have that much to say. So that's just my opinion, and we'll find out if if this goes anywhere. I mean, so far there's not really been any legal action. Dave Barnoski is threatening legal action. He says that let's see. I think he says that he's trying to take legal action. I'm not sure. I know he's said that he's been getting Freedom of Information Act requests and all this, yada yada. So we'll see if that goes anywhere. I don't think it will. I don't think it's really that huge of a deal because I don't know that anything is really happening there. So Ottawa County Commissioners, again, under fire for something that may turn out to be absolutely nothing. So with that, we go to Interim Health Director Hambly is being removed yet again. We'll see if this time it works. So this is from yesterday. I tried not to get anything from today because I know that the date was changed today already. So right now, I think the hearing is set for October. Let's see. They're going to hear arguments for the court case tomorrow. Let's see. Darn it. I don't see anything. Oh, yeah. Okay. It's set for October 19th. So court cases tomorrow, October 19th. The commissioners are going to consider the 4 different charges for the removal of Adeline Hambley. So yeah. That's basically all we know, really. I think the date was switched. The goal for the Ottawa County Commissioners is Nathan Kelly. That's really no news to anybody. Everybody knows that this is where they're heading. So we'll find out if this attempt goes anywhere. If Nathan Kelly is going to be installed as the interim health director. I don't even know if it's the actual health director, but yeah, that's about everything we know for this week. So those are 3 stories that we'll be keeping an eye on. We'll see if anything legally comes out of the Open Meetings Act claim. We'll see if anything turns up on the $75,000 given to Joe Moss. That one actually does particularly interest me. What the heck is going on there? And we'll see if anything turns up about Adeline Hambley. Oral arguments are tomorrow. We may, I don't know if there's any record on those. That'd be kind of cool to play some of that on the show. I don't know. We'll see. But for this week, that's what I got for you. We'll be back next week with today's commissioner meeting, which is, I hear, has been a doozy. So we'll go through that more on a, not a leftist perspective on that. We'll try and take a more central approach on that. Till next week, I'm Thomas Fry. This is the Home Spliticast.